Jennifer was born in Frankfurt, Germany in 1923. She grew up with Germans who were welcoming and respectful. Jennifer attended the Frankstift School and enjoyed dancing, singing, and playing with her friends, thinking it would last forever. As a child, she became accustomed to hearing anti-Semitic comments about Jews. Though Jennifer knew that anti-Semitism existed, she did not understand why people would be treated as inferior based only on their religion and appearance. She grew up with her mother Cherie and her father Peter in Frankfurt in a small peaceful neighborhood with a mix of Aryans and Jews. Jennifer and her family were lucky because no one in their community seemed to care about the fact that they were Jews. They had a stable income and were very educated. Jennifer had the freedom of choice to be with anyone and do anything, but all of this would soon vanish once the Nazi regime took over. Adolf Hitler rose into total power and began to mark his footsteps by labeling and condemning the Jews. Other Germans supported Hitler's radical ideas, and as a result, the German community started to treat Jennifer's family differently. Hitler's stereotypes depicted the Jews as having large, narrow noses and a baggy chin. Jennifer did not carry those traits, nor did she have any of the features that Hitler had defined as being Jewish. Though she had blonde hair and green eyes, just like a typical Aryan, her German peers slowly began to turn against Jennifer and her family. To make matters worse, Hitler continued to gain more supporters and his Nazi ideals spread like wildfire. In his first anti-Semitic writing, he referenced the Jews as racial tuberculosis of the nations. Hitler gained more control and was trusted by his Nazi followers. Because of the encouragement Hitler received by his people, in 1935, the Nazi Party wrote the Nuremberg Laws, which were the start of physically eliminating the rights of the Jews. The main purpose of the laws was to separate the Jews from the Germans by stating the vast differences between them. In particular, the Nuremberg Laws stated the requirements to be considered a German citizen, attempted to maintain the purity of the Aryan German race, and specified the role Jews had in German society. Because of these laws, Jennifer and her family were no longer considered German citizens, and the privileges they once used to enjoy were taken away. These anti-Semitic events made Jennifer feel like an outsider in a place that she once used to call home. Agony filled her heart, and she was unsure about what the future had to hold. Jennifer and her family received letters from their neighbors threatening them to leave because they were Jewish and no longer wanted in the community. As soon as this happened, her mother gave Jennifer a necklace with a cross to hide her Jewish identity and to be safe. Yet everyone in town still knew that Jennifer's family was Jewish. She lost her German friends and was not allowed to go to school anymore. Because of this, Jennifer felt fearful and scared for her family, hoping the discrimination would stop. Every time Jennifer had to go outside, she wore her Christian necklace for protection from Hitler youth groups that were patrolling the streets and constantly beating Jews. Thankfully, she was never chased home, nor did the Nazis ever attack her. When Jennifer was 14 years old, her father lost his job and was arrested because he was Jewish. Her mother begged the Nazis to release her husband, but they maliciously beat her and did not consider her problems. Jennifer was helpless and devastated to know that her family was falling apart and feared losing her parents. She was left with her mother at home and was scared to go out again. On November 9, 1938, the first day of Kristallnacht, Jennifer was out buying groceries for her mother and was spotted by a Nazi. She heard a thunderous shatter of glass, a suffocating smell of fire, and saw abusive destruction to the Jewish synagogue and to the Jews. The Nazi approached her and kicked her to the ground, laughing. But Jennifer knew it was not his fault and that he was only forced to do such an act. She begged for mercy, claiming that she was Christian, so the Nazi stopped, saw her necklace, and let her go. As she was racing home, Jennifer witnessed the Nazis happily, verbally, and physically beating the Jews. The Nazis acted inhumane and seemed to have fun because of the power they held over the Jews. Jennifer knew that this marked the beginning of the torturous treatment of Jews in Germany and other parts of Europe. She now knew that she had to escape, yet other Jews did not want to leave because they thought it would be the first and only event that would not be repeated again. Once Jennifer arrived home, she saw that her father was back. Her eyes glowed with happiness, and she felt like things were getting better for her family. But things were going to change for worse when Hitler and the Nazis held the Wannsee Conference. At this conference, they decided to try and solve the Jewish question and made a decision about what to do with the Jews in Central and Eastern Europe that were under Nazi control. They came up with the final solution of a removal process. By October 31st, 1940, Jews were no longer allowed to live in their German homes. From this notice, Jennifer's parents quickly sent her to their neighbor Allison, a Christian Aryan, to hide from the Nazis. Allison wanted to hide Jennifer from the Nazis and keep her in full protection because she believed what the Nazis were doing was wrong and malevolent. Jennifer realized the kindness within Allison's heart and admired her support and the risks she was taking for her own life. Unfortunately, Jennifer's parents were forced to go to the Frankfurt ghetto, leaving their precious daughter behind, knowing she would be safe. They only wished the best for their daughter's future. Although the ghetto was in their hometown, Jennifer felt numb and frozen to know that she may never see, feel, or hear from her parents ever again. The ghetto was very crowded and had Nazis rudely patrolling and giving orders to Jews. The freedom dissolved into fear of life and death. Cherie and Peter lived with another Jewish family in a compacted place that barely even had enough space for 2 people. There was not enough food to eat, and they starved nearly every day. Shelter was not secure, and the lifestyle was very dirty and unhealthy. Jennifer would receive letters daily from her parents explaining the gruesome living conditions in the ghetto and how much they miss her. They said that in the ghetto there was a border of brick wall separating the Jews from the Germans. Additionally, they stated that the working conditions were tough and barely paid money. Jennifer wrote letters back explaining her love and prayers to her parents. At all times, Jennifer wore her Christian necklace for safety and was forced to forget her Jewish identity. Every day she would look forward to her family's letters to hear about what life was like for them in the ghetto. She felt guilty that her parents were in danger and that she was safe. Jennifer wished to be with her parents, while her parents believed there was no longer a need to live and watch people die. She had heard from her mother and father that they had seen the Nazis lining up the Jews and killing them one by one. They explained how the Nazi remained emotionless while killing the Jews. Her parents felt like it would be the end of life for them. She kept in touch with her parents for a while, but soon Jennifer stopped receiving letters from both her mom and dad. She knew that her parents were dead and later learned that they were gassed to death. She wished that she could die with them because now life had no meaning if she was unable to be with her parents. Cherie and Peter were the ones who brought Jennifer to life, and knowing that they were dead made her feel like there was no reason to live anymore. She later got married to a Nazi named Robert, who was secretly a Jew and saved people's lives. They shared their stories with each other and later had children together. Jennifer named her daughter Cherie in memory of her mother and her son Peter in memory of her father. Additionally, they shared the amazing stories with their kids and later published a book called The Secret Identity of a Jew. Through making their stories known worldwide, they wanted to educate people with this moment of history so it will never happen again. Jennifer and Robert knew that the influence of a powerful leader could shape a person into becoming different. From their experience of the Holocaust, they had learned that no one was born evil. It was the actions of those who were vicious.